Today we're diving deep into the heart of what keeps my 1969 Volvo 140 series running smooth, the Zenith Stromberg 175CD-2S Carburetor. This video is for all you classic car lovers who want to understand not just how these carburetors work, but why they were designed this way, especially in European cars like this Volvo.
Patrick's Garage.
Let's start with a quick recap of what carburetor actually does. Your carburetor is basically a mixing valve. It combines air and gasoline into a fine vapor that your engine can burn. Now, the Stromberg is a variable-venturi carburetor, which means the size of the air passage, venturi, actually changes depending on engine load. Unlike a traditional fixed venturi car, this one adjusts automatically to give you the right air-fuel ratio at all speeds. That's why Strombergs are known for smoother transitions and better fuel efficiency, at least when they're working right. So, here is what happening inside the 175CD-2S. It's made up of three main parts: the float bowl on the bottom, where fuel enters and gets stored temporarily, the main body where air and fuel mix, and the suction chamber on the top, which houses the air valve and diaphragm. At the core of it all is a tapered metering needle that moves in and out of a fuel jet. That needle's position controls how much fuel enters the stream. And what controls the needle? Vacuum pressure from the engine. As you open the throttle, vacuum lifts the piston, which lifts the needle, allowing more fuel to mix with more air. And when you back off the throttle, vacuum drops and the piston settles back down. It's a beautifully simple feedback loop. Fuel first enters the carb through float valve into the float chamber. Now, this part works a lot like a toilet tank. There is a float inside, in this case, twin floats, and when the fuel level rises, it pushes the needle valve closed, stopping fuel from coming in. Get this part out of adjustment and the whole system goes out of control. Too much fuel, the mixture gets rich and you flood the engine. Too little, you go lean and the engine stumbles or stalls. So it's crucial the float level is set just right. Starting this car on a cold morning, that's where the cold start device comes in. On the Stromberg, this isn't traditional choke flap like you see on American Carb. Instead, it uses a valve disc with tiny calibrated holes that open extra fuel passages. When you pull the choke knob, it rotates that disc, allowing more fuel from the float chamber to bypass directly into the venturi. This gives you a richer mixture, which is what your engine needs when it's cold. And while you are at it, a separate cam linked to the same shaft bumps up the throttle a bit, giving you a fast idle while the engine warms up. Now, one of the neat things about this Carb is that it doesn't have a separate idle system. Instead, it just uses the same metering system, but with the needle resting lower in the jet when vacuum is low and the air valve is nearly closed. This restricts fuel flow down to just what's needed for idle. You fine-tune that using the adjusting screw, which sets your baseline mixture for idle and low-speed operation. As the throttle opens and airflow increases, vacuum lifts the piston, the needle rises, and the fuel mixture adjusts automatically to keep things balanced. Let's talk acceleration. One problem carburetors always had was hesitation. That flat spot when you slam the gas and the fuel can't catch up with the air. Stromberg solved this with a hydraulic damper inside the air valve. Inside the piston shaft, there is a plunger in a small reservoir of automatic transmission fluid type A. When you suddenly hit the throttle, the piston wants to rise quickly, but the oil damper slows it down just a bit. This keeps the vacuum strong for a split second longer, pulling in extra fuel and giving you a temporary rich mixture. That little bump of fuel eliminates hesitation and gives a smoother power delivery. Smart design. Remember the term venturi effect. When air flows through a narrow section, it speeds up and creates a low pressure. That low pressure sucks fuel from the jet and mixes it into the stream. But here is a trick. On a variable-venturi carb like this Stromberg, the air passage isn't fixed. It changes size depending on engine load. This keeps airflow velocity and the vacuum at the jet fairly constant. The result? Smooth throttle response and better fuel optimization, especially across different speed and altitudes. And if you're wondering why your modern car doesn't use this system, well, it's because fuel injection took over. But for its time, this was cutting edge. Now, if you're maintaining a Stromberg carb like I do on my Volvo 140 series, here are a few pro tips. Keep that damper topped up with the right fluid. No motor oil, no ATF tip F. It's need type A. Make sure your diaphragm isn't cracked. It controls whole vacuum mechanism. Check the needle and jet for wear. If they're grooved, your mixture will be off no matter how much tuning you do. And always set your float height properly. Tuning a Stromberg takes patience. But when it's dialed in, man, it's smooth. So, there you have it. A breakdown of the Zenith Stromberg 175CD-2S Carburetor on the Volvo 140 series. It may not be as flashy as modern fuel injection, but it's a brilliant piece of analog engineering, and when it works right, it delivers buttery smooth power and rock-solid reliability. If you're keeping a classic like this one on the road, don't be afraid to open up this carburetor and get your hands dirty. It's one of the most satisfying systems to master. Drop a comment below if you worked on one of these yourself.
I'll catch you in the next one on Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time. Thanks for your support.
Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Click the subscribe button and notifications bell, so that way you can be notified as soon as I upload new videos about car repairing.